Welcome back to another video, everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to become a pattern recognition machine. Now, when you're trading stocks, obviously identifying patterns is extremely important, and being able to read them is going to help you out a lot on finding highly profitable and high probability trades. Now, becoming a pattern recognition machine in the marketplace is phenomenal, but what you have to understand, and this is where a lot of people mess up, is people think that you just have to recognize a pattern. If you see a certain pattern forming, that's all you need. That's where you're wrong. Recognizing patterns, guys, is one part of the equation, right? Once again, recognizing patterns is one part of the equation. To understand the full equation, you need to understand the meaning behind the pattern. You need to understand the meaning behind the pattern being formed. Why is it forming this? Does it have a high probability of going up? Does it have a high probability of going down, right? So the way to do that is by asking yourself a few set of questions when you see patterns. Now, the second thing with patterns, right, is a lot of people see patterns after they formulate and they go, wow, I should have bought this stock. I see an ascending triangle. That was such a great trade. Yes, it looks like a great trade now, but at the exact moment, at that current time, what you have to be able to recognize with patterns is when the pattern is forming, when it is in its middle stage. When it's in its middle stage, becoming a pattern recognition machine forces you or allows you to identify the pattern and become aware of the next upcoming move. Now, if you identify the pattern and you become aware, you can now set yourself up to take advantage of this great setup. But now the questions that you have to ask yourself, as I mentioned before, to become a solid pattern recognition machine is number one, understand price action on a deeper level. So by now, you guys should be familiar with chart phases, gaps, support, resistance, just identifying price action at a deep, strong level. And the next part, in part 5, we're going to dive in deeper with price action and understand everything on a higher level. But as of right now, you should have a solid understanding. So if you understand price action on a deep level, that will help you on identifying patterns at a very, very high scale. Second, you should ask yourself or identify why this pattern has a probability of working. So if you see, let's say, a double top on a daily chart, why do I think this stock will go down? Why do I think it will break the neckline? What is giving me that probability? Maybe the market is selling off. Since the overall market is selling off, this might have a high probability of breaking the neckline and selling off as well. But now if, let's say, the market is making new highs, it's going higher and higher, what is the probability of this going lower? So you have to be able to correlate the two and syndicate the trade idea so you have a higher probability of taking on the trade and having the trade work in your favor, right? Next thing you have to identify is, does the trade idea syndicate with the pattern? As I just mentioned, you need to put all of these three together and understand the trade at a very deep level. The deeper you understand the pattern, the better you will be at trading it, right? So once again, just to recap, to become a pattern recognition machine is one part of the equation. What you have to do is A, obviously identify patterns, but B, understand patterns, understand the meaning behind each and every single pattern. And once you understand the meaning behind it, and once you understand the probability behind it, that will give you an edge, right? Now the question people have, how do I become great at identifying patterns? I never see patterns as they're forming, I always see them after. That's totally fine. If you just started trading, that is totally fine. What you have to do is you have to put in quality screen time, guys. You have to, once again, put in quality screen time. Now, what do I mean by quality screen time? I mean that if you're trading, you should be focused on the charts. You should be focused on absorbing as much as information as you possibly can. Now, if you're in front of your screen and you're on your phone, you have Netflix on, you're FaceTiming one of your friends, that is not quality screen time. Quality screen time is identifying what's happening in the market and understanding everything that's happening, trying to understand at least what is going on. Once you do that, you start building over and over again, and you start getting better at identifying moves, you get better at identifying patterns, and that increases your chance of success. Because once you start putting in quality screen time, what's going to start happening is before a pattern even formulates, you'll be like, all right, I see what this pattern is. All right, I see what this pattern is. I know what's happening. I have a strong idea of what's going to happen. So now I can be prepared for the play. And the only way you're going to get there, guys, is by putting in quality screen time. At the end of all these videos, I have action items. The action items for part 4, I'm going to give you guys a few stocks. You guys are going to analyze those stocks, and those stocks are most likely going to have patterns. The reason I'm going to give you this assignment is because when you do this assignment, it will improve and help you kind of identify patterns at a much, much higher level. So please make sure you do the assignments, and please make sure when you're doing the assignments, you're actually very, very focused and you're trying to understand each and every single move.